Alright, so this is my 2010 Cadillac Escalade. It's recent purchase. It was actually my dad's. He passed away. My mom got a new car, and I sold mine to keep it so that I could keep the nostalgia and maybe do some mods to it. He was pretty proud of it. So anyway, I took out the radio. This is the stock radio here. Really wasn't that hard to take out. A lot simpler than I thought. And then okay. So this is the new Radio Pioneer NEX 4200. This is the brake controller. Got that hooked up in there for pulling the trailer. This runs into the back. I added these little connections here to this panel that I bought off of Amazon, and it worked out really good. There's actually markings on the back of this, 4 of them, like little plus signs, and then you can drill. And then I used a Dremel with a sanding attachment to core out the oh, there's my Bluetooth. Okay, so anyway, I used a Dremel with a sanding attachment to core out the hole for the that this sits in, and that worked out really well. First of all, just started with a drill, and then as you notice here, I had to cut off the tops of these in order for the space in the back. For there's a nut, but there's a bit of plastic right between here and here, so in order for that nut to fit, I had to push this up a little bit, which required me to cut that flat, which worked out okay. Turned out pretty good. So yeah, this connection is actually going, I ran it under, and then I drilled a hole right there. And so now I've got it connected to this connection. So this is actually this. And then this connection, which is the original one, is still running back into the radio. So it's in the back of the radio. So it's kind of like a weird loop that I did to be able to get it to work, but it works. And then if you need to use this one, you can just pull that out. Of course, that one won't work anymore, but at least there's an option there. And then it's got the USB or the HDMI, which is pretty cool, because I can put this into here, or an Xbox or whatever. And I've got the relay, parking brake relay in there. So let me figure out where this. Okay, so for this thing, I'm going to take that out and plug that in, and now that HDMI connection is on. Now what that does, so anyway, yep, that's working there. So it could play videos, it could do my it could do the Google Android, or the directions. It could do whatever apps you have on your phone. Basically, it can be showing YouTube videos, whatever. And like I said, it's got it to where the parking brake isn't a requirement, because I did the bypass, which really wasn't too bad to do. And like I said, got the brake controller there, and that's for the trailer, and that's the install. Turned out really nice. I didn't have to cut this panel at all. I saw some other people talking about how they had to cut the front of this panel to get it to fit. This is a super tight fit. I will admit that. And what I did is I cut out the back panel. There's already a box hole. There's already a hole in the back of it. Let me cancel this. Okay. So there's already a hole in the back of it. Let me show you just how much I cut off. you can see on the back of this, there's these little pins, and they go into the back of what this was. So basically, I think it was like this, something like that. So there's already a small hole, but you need to add. There's another couple of inches. There's an inch on each side that you need to widen, and of course that means that you have to remove this, which means this won't go back in unless you glue this back in, 3D print something, reattach it, do something to it, and then you can put it back in and it should work fine. But yeah, that was the only modification I had. It's super tight. I spent more time on the wiring than I did actually soldering the whole harness. But it turned out really good. Yeah, it's really tight. I had to make sure to get all the wires going really good. I also have the AR iData link, which hooks up into my car's system for all the tires and oil and speed and all that stuff. So that unit is actually sitting right behind here underneath the radio and on top of this part. And then the rest of it is mostly just a huge mess of wires. But it's really not that bad to get it out. This just pops off. You just take it from here and pop right off, like so. And then from there, you know, this one's a little bit tricky and sensitive because it's got a few parts, and this one is probably the one that's more prone to breaking of any of them. This popped out super easy. I don't even know if I needed to have that out other than get access here, but yeah, 2010 Cadillac Escalade. It was a lot easier than I thought. Price wasn't too bad. Got all of it off of Amazon. And there it is. Thanks for watching. Hope it helps.